Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're going somewhere pretty unexpected.
Yeah.
Albert Pike's Morals and Dogma of the Ancient and Accepted Scottish Rite of Freemasonry
Okay.
from 1878.
Right.
Now, you might be thinking, Freemasonry? What does that have to do with me?
Uh-huh.
And honestly,
Right.
that's the beauty of these deep dives. Stick with us because Pike offers a really unique perspective on work purpose and building a life with meaning,
Yeah.
even if you're not a Mason yourself.
It's true. This book isn't just about rituals and symbols,
Right.
though those are certainly a part of Freemasonry. It's about applying those principles to your daily life,
Yeah.
no matter your background.
So let's jump right in.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most striking ideas in the book is this concept of rebuilding the Temple of Jerusalem.
Okay.
But Pike isn't talking about a literal temple, is he?
Not at all. He's using it as a metaphor for the inner work we all do as human beings. He actually writes, "To us, the whole world is God's temple, as is every upright heart." So he's encouraging us to see the world around us and the people in it as sacred.
So it's about building that temple within ourselves
Yes.
rather than with bricks and mortar.
Exactly. It's about cultivating qualities like love, peace, charity, and tolerance.
Okay.
And those qualities, they become the foundation, the very building blocks of a better self,
Yeah.
and in turn, a better world.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But how do we actually put that into practice?
Yeah.
How do we take this grand idea of building a temple and make it relevant to our everyday lives?
That's where things get really interesting. Pike believes that instead of looking for grand gestures,
Right.
we should find the sacred in the everyday. And that's what we'll explore next.
Finding the sacred in the everyday. It's a beautiful idea, but it's also kind of, like you said, a radical departure from how a lot of us
Yeah.
approach our lives.
Absolutely. We tend to compartmentalize to see our spiritual lives as separate from our work, our routines,
Right.
even our leisure time. But Pike challenges us to find that connection
Right.
in everything we do.
And he specifically points to work as a way to build that inner temple.
Yes. He writes, "There is no task of industry or business, but has spiritual ends." And it's not about the actual job itself, but the qualities we cultivate
Ew.
through it.
So it's not about whether you're a CEO or a cashier,
Mm-hmm.
but about how you approach your work, whatever it may be.
Precisely. Pike believed that honest work done with diligence and care could teach us valuable lessons: patience, perseverance,
Right.
self-discipline. These are the building blocks of character, and they're just as important as any grand act of charity
Yeah.
or service.
So even something as simple as like focusing on a task, even when it's challenging or tedious,
Right.
can become an act of building that inner temple.
Exactly. And it's about more than just personal growth. Pike believed that by honing those virtues through our work, we actually contribute to a better world.
It's like this ripple effect. The effort we put into our work, even in the smallest tasks, can radiate outwards, impacting those around us.
That's a great way to put it. Now, if our work can have this spiritual dimension, it stands to reason that our entire world is filled with similar opportunities for moral growth. And that leads us to another fascinating aspect of Pike's philosophy,
Okay.
the idea that we exist in a world of spiritual objects, influences, and relations.
Okay. A world of spiritual objects, influences, and relations. That sounds pretty profound.
Yeah.
I'll admit it's a little over my head.
Sure.
Can you break that down for us a little bit?
Of course. Think of it this way. Every interaction, every object, even the thoughts we dwell on, they all leave a mark on us. They shape our perceptions, our choices,
Okay.
and ultimately the kind of person we become.
So it's not just about the big life-altering decisions, but even the smallest interactions.
Right.
The things we might not even give a second thought to.
Exactly. Pike uses a simple but really powerful example.
Okay.
He talks about the impact even a child's nose can have on us.
Oh, yeah. We've all been there.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like the smallest things are the most jarring.
Right. And it's not really about the noise itself, but how we react to it.
Okay.
Do we let it derail our day, or do we find a way to stay grounded to respond with patience?
It's about recognizing that even in those moments of frustration, there's an opportunity to practice those virtues, to strengthen that inner temple.
Precisely. And it goes beyond our reactions. Pike also talks about the influence of the objects around us, what he calls their spiritual weight.
So he's not saying that, like, my bookshelf is going to magically bestow wisdom upon me.
Right. No, not quite.
Yeah.
But think about the things you choose to surround yourself with. The books you read, the art you display, even the way you arrange your furniture. They reflect your values, your aspirations. They create an environment that can either support or hinder your growth.
It's like creating a physical manifestation of that inner temple we're building, surrounding ourselves with things that inspire us, remind us of our values,
Yeah,
and help us stay on track.
exactly. And here's the good news. Build it a meaningful life, strengthening that inner temple. It's not about making sweeping changes overnight. Pike reminds us that the million occasions will come to us all, in the ordinary paths of our life, in our homes and by our firesides, wherein we may act as nobly as if all our life long we led armies, sat in senates, or visited beds of sickness and pain.
So it's not about waiting for those grand heroic moments, but about finding opportunities for small acts of courage, kindness, integrity
Yes,
in our everyday lives.
exactly. Those small acts, those choices we make in every moment, they might seem insignificant on their own, but collectively they become the building blocks,
Right.
not just of a better self, but of a better world.
That's a powerful thought.
Yeah.
We started with this idea of rebuilding a temple, and
Yeah.
we've uncovered this whole philosophy about finding the sacred in the everyday,
Yeah.
from our work to our interactions to the objects we surround ourselves with.
And remember, it's not about achieving perfection. It's about recognizing that we are all works in progress, constantly building and rebuilding that inner temple.
It's a lifelong journey,
Yep.
and that's what makes it so interesting.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this final thought from Pike. If our lives are the building blocks of a larger spiritual edifice, what kind of structure are we creating?
It's a question worth pondering. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.